같은데
네.
노미네이트가 되기도 했었습니다.
동양 고주파가요? 아니 그 앨범.
네.
아, wow, that's amazing. So
네.
동양 고주파, congratulations by the way,
네.
축하드리고요. So 동양 고주파 has a tour plan in Spain in March. They did a collaboration with Blood Quartet, and they were nominated for the music award in that country, which is something to congratulate, right? Well, do continue to show lots of love for 동양 고주파 and 윤은화 as well. Unfortunately, we'll have to wrap up right there. 시간이 벌써
네.
순삭해 버렸어요. 네, 은하님 더 얘기하고 싶은데 오늘 혹시 어떠셨어요? 한마디만 해주신다면?
너무 진행을 잘 해주셔가지고
아닙니다.
저도 같이 이제
네.
시간이 순삭했던 시간인 것 같습니다.
Oh, that's amazing.
네.
Thank you. All right. So time really flew for her on Culture Crunch today, but we'll have to wrap up there. Thank you so much, Una, once again. 다시 한번 너무 감사드리고요. All right, we'll have to wrap up there. Here's our last song. It's 파도 or Wave by Una's band, 동양 고주파. 우리 같이 인사해볼까요?
네.
카메라 보고 bye bye.
Bye.
Keep crunching.
저는 만 5살에 바이올린을 시작했는데요. 바이올린 소리를 워낙 좋아했어서 그 특유의 따뜻함과 약간 사람의 목소리 같은 목소리를 갖고 있거든요, 바이올린이. 저는 무대에 올랐을 때보다는 이제 혼자 연습할 때 더 큰 희열을 느끼는데 제가 표현하고자 하는 음악이 잘 나왔을 때 그때 가장 큰 기쁨을 느끼는 것 같아요. 그래서 저만의 색깔을 어떻게 하면 찾아갈 수 있을까 그걸 제일 많이 고민하는 것 같아요. 아무래도 연습을 할 때는 이제 생각과 고민을 많이 하는 반면에 무대에서 연주할 때는 정말 머릿속을 비우고 아무 생각도 안 하려고 하는 것 같아요. 무대에서는 자유롭게 콩쿨 무대도 저만의 독주라고 생각하는 자세를 가지려고 하고 있어요. 사실 바이올린과는 거의 제 인생의 대부분을 같이 해왔기 때문에 저를 힘들게 할 때도 많지만 제가 가장 사랑하고 아끼는 존재입니다. 작곡가가 전달하고 싶은 메시지와 또 제 자신이 관객들에게 전달하고 싶은 메시지를 모두 다 설득력 있게 잘 전달할 수 있는 그런 연주자가 되고 싶습니다.
held its first debate over the weekend.
The economy is expected to expand 2.5% this year.
Boosting Korea's ties with its global partners on the sidelines of the status UN summit.
A massive drone attack on Ukraine overnight on Monday and Tuesday.
Arirang.
The number of employed people in South Korea stood at nearly 28 million last month. This is an increase of 108,000 on year, but it's a significant slowdown as it marks the smallest growth in 13 months. The Health Ministry announced its plan to gradually raise the medical school quota over the next 5 years by an average of 668 seats per year, starting in 2027. But doctors' groups say the measure falls far short of providing a real solution to shortages in regional and essential healthcare. South Korean figure skater Cha Jun-hwan ranked 6th in the men's single short program, earning him a season-high score. This secures his place in Friday's free skate, where the top 24 competitors will compete for medals. Hello and thanks for joining us on Arirang News. We begin today with South Korea's job market that hit a speed bump to start the year. The number of employed people grew by just over 100,000 in January, the smallest increase in 13 months. While a severe cold snap shrank jobs for the elderly in agriculture, the slump in youth employment and the manufacturing sector continues to drag down the figures. Our Kim Do-yeon reports.
The latest employment data shows South Korea's job market is cooling rapidly. According to the Ministry of Data and Statistics on Wednesday, the number of employed people stood at 27.98 million in January, an increase of 108,000 on year. This is a significant slowdown compared to previous months, marking the smallest growth since December 2024.
By sector, the health and social welfare and transportation industries saw job gains. In contrast, the agriculture and public administration sectors shed jobs.
Freezing temperatures reduced activity in the agriculture, forestry, and fishing sectors, which saw jobs plummet by 107,000. This directly impacted older workers, while jobs for those aged 60 and above did increase by 141,000. It was the smallest rise for that age group in 5 years.
As for the rise in unemployment among those aged 60 and older, officials attribute this to a mix of seasonal factors, specifically the cold snap, and delays in the start of government-subsidized senior job programs, which left many older people waiting for work.
But weather isn't the only factor. Core industries remain weak. Manufacturing jobs fell by 23,000 and the construction sector shed another 20,000 jobs, continuing a long streak of decline. Young people are also finding it harder to enter the workforce. The number of workers aged 15 to 29 dropped by 175,000, and the number of people simply resting without seeking work rose by 110,000. This aligns with separate data showing a hiring freeze at major conglomerates. A report by CEO Score reveals that Korea's top 500 companies actually cut their total workforce by over 6,700 last year. More than half of these major firms reduced their headcount. The polarization is distinct. While CJ Olive Young and SK Hynix added thousands of jobs riding the K-beauty and semiconductor boom, traditional giants struggled. LG Electronics and retail leaders including E-Mart and Lotte Shopping cut thousands of positions, and even Samsung Electronics saw its workforce shrink by over 1,000. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.
The Health Ministry has announced a finalized plan to expand medical school admissions, a move that's facing strong backlash from doctors' groups. The government says it will gradually raise the quota over the next 5 years, but the medical community says the measure falls far short of providing a real solution to address shortages in regional and essential healthcare. Our An Sung-jin explains more.
South Korea has finalized its medical school quota increase after a prolonged dispute since 2024. The government has put forth a 5-year plan to increase medical school admissions starting from the 2027 academic year to address regional and public healthcare shortages. Following a meeting by the Health and Medical Policy Deliberation Committee on Tuesday, the Health Ministry says that enrollment will, on average, increase by 668 students per year from 2027 to 2031, adding up to a total of 3,342 students over the next 5 years. The government is emphasizing that it's a gradual increase to avoid strain on medical education.
The committee has decided to implement the medical personnel expansion in stages, taking into account medical school education capacity, as well as the establishment of public and regional medical schools.
All additional places will be allocated to 32 medical schools outside the capital region and will supplement the regional doctor track, which requires graduates to work in their hometown for 10 years in an effort to strengthen local and essential healthcare services. The ministry said it will provide full support through residency and regional settlement. Compared to the previous administration's plan to add 2,000 students annually over 5 years starting in 2024, the scale of the current expansion has been reduced to roughly one-third of that. The Korean Medical Association criticized the plan immediately during an emergency press conference. It argued that the government's workforce projections lacked a basis.
The stated purpose of expanding medical school quotas was to address shortages in regional and essential healthcare, but the measures discussed so far fall short of providing a real solution. There seems to be no significant change from previous proposals.
The expansion of medical school quotas has been the source of intense conflict between the government and doctors since 2024. But with university-specific quotas to be finalized in April, following a review by the Education Ministry, all eyes are on how the medical community will resolve lingering issues. An Sung-jin, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, President Lee Jae-myung has discussed strengthening security cooperation with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. According to Blue House spokesperson Kim Nam-jun, the two agreed during their phone call on Tuesday to maintain close communication on the war in Ukraine and developments on the Korean Peninsula. He called for more substantive defense industry cooperation through the Korea-NATO Defense Industry Consultative Group, created last year, and Rutte expressed his support. This was their second phone conversation since President Lee took office last June. And North Korea has condemned Japan for expanding its defense export channels after Tokyo signed a defense equipment and technologies transfer agreement with Canada. In an article published on Wednesday, the North's ruling party's Rodong-Sinmun claimed Japan was moving to form de facto military alliances with NATO members and other regional partners. It wrote that joint drills and the exchange of military supplies were only possible within alliance structures. The state media, however, made no mention of Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's ruling party winning a landslide election victory on Sunday. South Korea's Unification Minister Chung Dong-young has expressed regret over a recent Pyongyang drone incident, marking the first such statement by a senior government official. Speaking at a Catholic Mass at Myeongdong Cathedral in Seoul on Tuesday, Chung said he conveyed deep regret to North Korea for the incursion. He noted that investigations effectively confirmed that drones were sent to the north by civilians. Chung also claimed that in October 2024, under the Yoon Suk-yeol administration, the military sent drones to North Korea 11 times to provoke a response. He called the moves reckless and dangerous, warning they nearly led to war. The minister urged restoring the September 19 inter-Korea military agreement and halting hostile aerial activities to prevent further tensions. U.S. President Donald Trump is reportedly expressing anger over delays in Japan's promised investments under a bilateral trade deal. The reported frustration comes as Tokyo works to finalize large-scale U.S.-bound investments and sends a top trade official to Washington for talks. Our Lee Soo-jin has more.
U.S. President Donald Trump is reportedly voicing strong dissatisfaction over delays in Japanese investments pledged under last year's trade and tariff agreement. According to a report by Japan's Nikkei newspaper on Tuesday, President Trump has high expectations for Japan's newly elected Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, but is also frustrated that promised investments into the United States have not moved forward as quickly as expected. The report says Washington privately communicated to Tokyo that the president is furious over issues with Japan even before he publicly expressed support for Takaichi on social media. At the center of the dispute is a pledge by Japan to invest $550 billion in the United States as part of last year's tariff deal. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick reportedly told President Trump that the first round of investment plans would be finalized by the end of 2025. However, the Nikkei reported that the sheer scale of the projects has slowed planning and coordination. The initial target to reach a concrete agreement was the end of January this year, but that deadline was pushed back to the end of this month. President Trump is said to view the delay with suspicion, reportedly claiming that Japan may be intentionally slowing negotiations. Despite the report, Prime Minister Takaichi has reaffirmed that the U.S.-Japan alliance remains strong and unchanged.
Regarding my upcoming meeting with President Trump, we will reaffirm the unshakable unity between Japan and the United States and further advance Japan-U.S. cooperation across a wide range of fields, including diplomacy, the economy, and security.
Tokyo appears to be moving to ease tensions with Japan's Economy, Trade, and Industry Minister Roshei Akazawa, who oversees tariff negotiations, set to visit the United States this week. Kyodo News reports that Akazawa is expected to meet Commerce Secretary Lutnick during the trip, with talks likely to focus on investment timelines and ways to keep the bilateral trade relationship on track. Lee Soo-jin, Arirang News.
The investigation into South Korean e-commerce giant Coupang has confirmed that more than 33 million user accounts were exposed in the company's recent data breach. Our Cho Young-eun reports.
According to the Ministry of Science and ICT on Tuesday, the names and email addresses of 33.67 million users had been leaked from the company's system, which is far more than the initially reported number of 4,500. Officials warned that the actual number of victims could be even higher, as Coupang users often register delivery details for family members and acquaintances.
It has been confirmed that the hackers accessed delivery list pages containing names, phone numbers, delivery addresses, and partially anonymized shared entrance passwords. A total of 148,056,502 times.
According to the Joint Public-Private Investigation Team, attackers gained access to Coupang servers by exploiting vulnerabilities in its authentication system and were able to bypass normal security procedures by forging digital access passes. However, authorities did not officially disclose the identity of the suspect and key details, including the exact scale of the data leak, with the Personal Information Protection Commission expected to release further findings at a later date. Meanwhile, the investigation team said no secondary damage resulting from the breach has been confirmed so far. According to the ministry, Coupang will be fined for its delayed reporting and placed under formal investigation for failing to preserve key evidence, despite earlier government requests. The ministry said Coupang became aware of the breach at 4 p.m. on November 17, but did not report it to the authorities until 9:35 p.m. on November 19, far exceeding the legally mandated 24-hour reporting deadline. Under South Korean law, such delays are punishable by fines of up to 30 million won, or approximately $20,000. Coupang will also be subject to a separate investigation as web access logs for a 5-month period in 2024 and application access records from late May to early June 2025 were missing. The government will instruct Coupang later this month to submit measures to prevent similar breaches and will inspect their implementation between June and July. Cho Young-eun, Arirang News.
We're now less than a week away from this year's Lunar New Year holiday, or Seollal, and the cost of holiday foods is in the spotlight. Although expenses can add up, there are more affordable ways to prepare them. Our Park Jun-an tells us more.
As South Korea's Lunar New Year Seollal approaches, families are gathering to prepare food for the 차례 table, the ancestral rite table that is a key part of the holiday, featuring a feast of traditional dishes. According to the Seoul Agri-Fisheries and Food Corporation's latest survey on Monday, the average cost of food for a standard 6-7 person 차례 table has risen by at least 4% at traditional markets and large supermarkets. But there is one place where prices have actually fallen more than 4% from last year. making it much cheaper than retail malls. That place is Arirang Mall, located in Seoul. Here, the average cost of food for a Seollal chalet table is 205,510 Korean won, or around 141 US dollars. This is 12.1% cheaper than the average traditional market and a whopping 24.2% cheaper than the average large supermarket. Now, take a look at this chicken. According to Seoul City estimates, prices here are nearly half of what you pay at large supermarkets, based on a standard 1.2 kilogram comparison. For shoppers, this market offers the advantage of seeing and choosing a wide range of items firsthand, from meat and seafood to vegetables and fruit, all at reasonable prices.
I bought some beef and pork. It is cheaper here since it is a wholesale market, and with my children coming over, I plan to make dumplings and prepare a variety of dishes so that we can all eat well together.
And here's how you can save even more money. The mall is running its Onnuri gift certificate event. Shoppers who spend 34,000 won or more will receive a 10,000 won gift certificate, while those who spend 67,000 won or more will get the maximum certificate for 20,000 won. The event will be run from Tuesday through Saturday. As the number of certificates is limited, the earlier you go, the better. 박준환, Arirang News.
Hello and welcome. I am your AI sports correspondent Arirang. This section features AI-generated content and scripts, bringing you the latest news from the Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026. Here are our top stories. South Korean figure skater Taejun Hwan advanced to the free skate competition after placing 6th in the men's singles short program on Tuesday at the Milano Ice Skating Arena. Ta earned 92.72 points in the short program after landing a quadruple salchow in a triple axel, marking his highest score of the season. This result qualifies him for the free skate, which will determine the overall medalists. Ilya Malinin of the United States leads the field with 108.16 points, followed by Japan's Yuma Kageyama. The combined scores from this short program and the upcoming free skate on Friday will decide the final Olympic standings. South Korea's short track mixed relay team failed to reach the medal final on Tuesday, following a collision in the semifinals. Kim Ki-lee fell after tangling with Kanin Stodod of the United States. Officials rejected a South Korean request for advancement, citing the team's third-place position at the time of the foul. South Korea subsequently placed second in the B final behind the Netherlands to finish 6th overall. Host nation Italy won the gold medal, with Canada and Belgium taking silver and bronze. Following a day of recovery and training on Wednesday, Korea's short track squad will return to the ice on Thursday for the women's 500-meter and the men's 1,000-meter. The International Olympic Committee on Tuesday banned Ukrainian skeleton racer Vladislav Heraskevich from wearing a helmet featuring images of athletes killed in the war with Russia. The IOC ruled that the tribute violates Rule 50 of the Olympic Charter, which bans political demonstrations. Although the committee offered a black armband as a compromise, Heraskevich stated he will wear the helmet during Thursday's competition in Cortina. Arianna Fontana, Italy's most decorated Winter Olympian, added to her medals on Tuesday by leading the host nation to gold in the short track mixed relay. This victory marks Fontana's 12th career medal across 6 Winter Games. Italy finished the 2,000-meter race at the Milano Ice Skating Arena in 2 minutes 39.019 seconds, coming ahead of Canada and Belgium. The win moves Fontana within 1 medal of the all-time Italian Olympic record held by fencer Edoardo Mangiaruti. She returns to the ice this Thursday for the women's 500-meter quarterfinals. Before we head out, let's look ahead. Appearing now on your screen are the current medal standings and the upcoming schedule for the Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026.
Low visibility due to fog caused headaches for some morning commuters across western regions. And today, temperatures will remain above the season norms, although air quality will be a concern. Ultrafine dust levels will rise to the bad range across most of the country, except for the eastern parts of Gangwon-do province, where dry conditions have persisted, as well as Gyeongsang-do regions. Now, strong winds along the east coast and on Jeju Island will continue, so extra caution is needed to prevent fires. And this afternoon, Seoul will be getting up to 6 degrees Celsius. Gwangju makes it to 8 degrees, Daegu topping out at 10 degrees Celsius. Skies will remain partly cloudy nationwide in the morning, but conditions will gradually clear beginning late this afternoon. Temperatures will stay milder than normal for the season through the end of the week under fairly sunny skies.
That's all we have for today's noon edition of Arirang News. Thank you for watching. We'll be back at 5 p.m. Korea time. Stay tuned.
To set the facts straight. Get Korea right.
안녕하세요. 저는 방크에서 활동하는 홍단비 청년연구원입니다. 대한민국이라는 국가가 존재한다는 사실을 전 세계에 알리는 공식적인 징표이자 국민을 하나로 통합하게 하는 힘을 가진 이것. 바로 태극기인데요. 일제강점기 당시 태극기는 우리 민족을 하나로 통합시키는 구심점 같은 역할을 하기도 했죠. 대한민국 국기인 태극기에 대해 잘못 알고 있거나 오해하는 부분들이 가끔 발견되더라고요. 제가 태극기에 담긴 의미와 역사에 대해 제대로 알려드릴게요. 최초의 태극기는 1882년에 처음 만들어졌다고 해요. 이후 다양한 형태의 태극기가 제작됐다가 지금은 국가에서 국기를 체계적으로 관리하는 법을 만들어 시행하고 있어요. 태극기에 담긴 의미를 알아볼까요? 먼저 흰색 바탕은 밝음과 순수, 그리고 평화를 사랑하는 우리의 민족성을 나타내요. 태극기 가운데에는 태극 문양이 들어가는데요. 이 태극 문양은 우주 만물이 음양의 조화로 인해 생물을 얻고 발전한다는 대자연의 진리를 표현한 것이라고 해요. 다음으로 건공감리를 그려볼게요. 4개 모서리에 그린 사괴에는 각기 다른 의미가 있어요. 건괴는 하늘, 곤괴는 땅, 감괴는 물, 이괴는 불을 상징해요. 우리 선조들이 생활 속에서 즐겨 쓰던 태극 문양을 중심으로 만들어진 태극기는 우주와 더불어 끝없이 창조와 번영을 바라는 우리 민족의 이상을 담고 있답니다. 대한민국의 정체성과 자긍심을 드러내고 우리 민족을 하나로 뭉치게 하는 태극기, 우리의 자랑스러운 국가 상징입니다. 한국 바로 알리기. 여러분도 함께 해주세요.
어렸을 때 아버지가 클래식을 좋아하셔서 자연스럽게 공연장을 이제 가족들이 다 같이 가게 되었는데, 그때 포피아노 연주를 제가 실제로 가서 봤었는데 그때 이제 너무 멋있다 생각이 들어서 부모님께 피아노를 하고 싶다고 졸랐습니다. 저조차도 누군가의 연주를 보고 이렇게 피아니스트를 꿈꿔왔듯이 누군가도 제 연주를 듣고 다양한 감정을 이렇게 느꼈으면 좋겠어요. 어쨌든 저는 21세기 사람이니까 21세기 트렌드를 또 잃으면 안 될 것 같아서 간혹은 또 가요나 팝송도 많이 들으려고 노력하고 있고요. 그러다가도 또 이제 다시 클래식으로 돌아오게 되더라고요. 그냥 클래식 음악은 진짜 어떤 시대에 들어도 누구나 공감할 수 있다고 생각을 해서 그래서 클래식 음악이 제일 마음에 와닿는 것 같아요. 지나바카오 콩쿠르에서 특히 2라운드 연주가 저는 항상 기억에 남는 게 너무 무서웠어요, 사실. 한 음만 치는데 다음 음이 뭐였는지 기억이 안 날까 봐 너무 두렵더라고요. 악몽을 너무 많이 꿨었고 연습을 하는데도 불구하고 끝까지 안 되는 음악적인 패시지라든지 테크닉적인 패시지들이 있는데 그게 무대 위에서 정말 무의식적인 세계에서 갑자기 해결이 되는 경우가 있더라고요. 그랬을 때 이제 희열을 확 느끼는 것 같아요. 제가 지금 공부하고 있는 곡들, 즐겨 연주하고 있는 곡들이 사실 클래식 음악을 처음 접하는 분들에겐 익숙하지 않은 곡들이지만 지금 제 나이에 가장 잘 표현할 수 있는 음악이라고 생각을 해서 그런 레퍼토리를 준비를 하고 있는 거니까 같이 즐겨주시고 같이 공유해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
The Korean wave is drawing more fans from all over the world. Local consumer prices continue to hover at the 2% since rate in April. Turning to robots to allow the visually impaired the chance to better indulge in cultural experiences. Like the number of hybrid cars are registered in South Korea has surpassed 2 million with this locally developed Yuri rocket.
Arirang.
Introducing Korean broadcast content that you won't be able to stop watching. For weary modern souls, Dr. Romantic, the quirky genius doctor of Doldam Hospital, prescribes heartwarming tales of humanity. A couple together for 7 years sees their rose-tinted glasses shatter. Can they keep their relationship alive? Discover the raw stories of youth, work, and love. Beyond what social media can show, experience the vibrant Korea through its hidden gems. Mama, the ultimate K-pop festival for global fans. Find your star in a feast of trendy music and electrifying performances. Now, the whole world enjoys it together.
The moment we wear it, our spirits lift. It helps us grow strong in body and in mind. As we wear it, we learn patience and respect. The belt system motivates students to strive harder and continue growing. This uniform shapes movement into grace and turns performance into something thrilling. Now, embraced around the world, Taekwondo shares our culture, philosophy, and values with pride and spirit. Though it may seem simple, this uniform holds your passion and your journey. It belongs to Taekwondo. Wear the extraordinary. Be with Taekwondo.
K푸드를 세계에 전파하는 혁신가, 한강라면 조리기를 만든 신영석 대표님을 오늘 토크룸에 모셨습니다. 안녕하세요, 대표님.
네, 안녕하세요.
어서 오세요.
네.
먼저 한강라면이 무엇인지 좀 먼저 설명을 해야 될 것 같아요. 상품 이름은 아니잖아요. 그렇죠?
네, 그렇죠. 한강라면을 설명하기 전에 라면 조리기라는 걸 먼저 설명을 드려야 될 것 같습니다. 이 라면 조리기는 더운 물이 나오면서 이제 라면을 조리하는 건데, 저희 업계에서 보면 2000년도에 일부 PC방을 중심으로 해서 뽀글이라는 그 기계가 있었어요. 이 기계가 이제 보급이 되면서 2011년도에 한강공원 편의점에서 활용이 되면서 이제 한강라면 이런 것들이 이제 인기가 나왔다고 합니다.
네. 그래서 그 한강라면을 보급화되기 위해서는 이런 라면 조리기가 인기를 많이 끌었었던 것 같은데, 그러면은 작동하는 원리가 뭔가요? 그러니까 물이 나온다고 그랬었고, 그러면 어떻게 이제 라면을 만들 줄 모르는 사람도 쉽게 사용할 수 있는 건가요?
보통은 지금 한강공원에 가면 이제 여러 개의 기계들이 있는데, 일반적으로 이제 80도의 더운 물이 나오면서 이 바닥에는 이제 인덕션 가열을 합니다. 그래서 인덕션이 히팅이 되면서 라면을 조리는데, 저희 하우스쿡의 제품의 이제 특징이라고 그러면